Welcome to the Gearvlogz Automotive Podcast, episode 31. In today's podcast, I talk about Genesis GV80 Coupe concept. Looks like a production-ready fastback SUV. China is slowly squeezing global auto car makers out. Stellantis sees vehicle loan duration extended amid banking turmoils. U.S. and Japan enter into electric car battery materials trade deal. GMC Hummer EV pickup truck sales almost stalled in Q1 2023 and 2024. 24 Toyota Tacoma hybrid previewed in teaser shots. Hey, if this is your first time here, thanks for clicking that play button. I'm Mario Gear. I've been involved in the automotive industry for well over 15 years. I'm sharing my enthusiasm for all automotive topics with you. Let's begin. The Genesis GV80 Coupe concept sure looks like a production-ready fastback SUV. Genesis revealed the concept car ahead of the 2023 New York International Auto Show, and it doesn't seem like a huge leap from here to production. First things first, it's gorgeous. The Genesis design department, led by an ex-Audi, ex-Lamborghini, ex-Bentley designer, Luke Dunker Wolk, is on a hot streak of releasing gorgeous vehicles. Whether they're production ready or concepts like this, but looking closely, this doesn't really seem like a concept car. It has all the hallmarks of nearly production spec machine. Meet the Genesis GV80 concept coupe. In a press release, Genesis describes the GV80 coupe concept as a statement of intent for the future, hinting towards more emotional and performance-oriented models, and that the concept materializes the Genesis brand's design philosophy while emphasizing its athletic attributes. Future models, you may say? The concept is a four-seater with a sloping rear roofline and a chopped-off tail section capped by spoilers on the roof and the rear beltline. The signature Genesis two-line design of the front and rear lighting elements have been accented beyond what you see on production GV80. I, for one, think it's fantastic. So there we have it. Let's move on to our next story. China is slowly squeezing global car makers out of its massive market. Legacy automakers have been sounding optimistic lately about car sales in China, but many are steadily getting squeezed out of the market. Legacy automakers have been sounding optimistic lately about vehicle sales in China heading higher following the great reopening. Volkswagen boss Oliver Blume seemed to come away bullish from his visit in February, and others like BMW have offered similar positive statements. That near-term swagger hides an uncomfortable point for established automakers. Many of them are slowly but steadily getting squeezed out of the Chinese auto market. Internationally, legacy automakers have watched their share of the market shrink from 61% in 2020 to 41% in the final quarter of last year. There should be a slight bounce back in the first half of this year as these manufacturers clear out old inventory, but Bloomberg NEF expects their overall share this year to be well below 50%. That's quite a bit of variation between legacy automakers in terms of how well they've fared. Toyota sales in China have held up reasonably well, but its Japanese peers, Nissan and Honda, have seen big drops in the last few years. Premium brands have generally fared better than mass market ones. The rise of electric vehicles is the most important factor upending the automotive pecking order in China. Automotive product planning cycles are long, and many legacy automakers misjudge how fast the Chinese market was shifting to EVs. International legacy automakers had just 8% of China's plug-in vehicle market in the final quarter of last year, and many of their EV offerings are not competitive with local ones on price, range, and features. Their shares of the Chinese EV market has steadily declined as companies like BYD and Tesla took the initiative, and local automakers launched a fury of electric models. Electrification has been the fastest at the top and bottom of the Chinese auto market, so the next phase of growth will have to come from the middle of the road where EV penetration is lower. This could bring further losses in the market share for legacy automakers unless they can quickly correct course. Early sales data for 2023 show this may already be playing out. Japanese brands were down 39% overall in January and February, while Germans were down 21%. By contrast, BYD has already sold more than 300,000 vehicles in that span, up more than 70%. Founder Wang, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that last name, said last week that the company aims to be China's top-selling automaker by the end of the year. Other factors are also at play. In-vehicle connectivity and software offerings are often stronger for Chinese brands and has been another point of differentiation. Chinese consumers tend to adopt new technology faster than new car buyers in Western markets, where the average buyer skews older. Some of what's happening has also been part of the Chinese government's long-term goals for the sector for many years. Global automakers are required to produce vehicles with local joint venture partners until very recently, a move that was designed to speed up transfer of technology and manufacturing know-how. Electrification is now creating a lane for them to leap ahead. It's hard to overstate just how important China's rise has been for the global automaker over the last several decades. Indeed, much of the growth in global vehicle sales in the last 20 years has come from the expansion of Chinese middle class. There's no other growth story like China on the horizon, and with domestic dynamics shifting quickly, there now legacy automakers are being forced into the electric age. It's not clear if all of them will make the jump successfully. There we go. On to our next story. Stellantis sees vehicle loan duration extended amid banking turmoil. Customers substitute longer term as inflation interest rates increase. Stellantis is seeing clients seeking longer term financing and leasing deals for their vehicles as a consequences of higher global interest rates, the carmakers head of business said. Chief Affiliate Officer Philippe Del Rovilla said loans, which normally have been a 3-year maturity, were now increasingly moved to 4 years. This allows customers to get a car for a monthly installment that is similar to what they've had before, he said. The world's third largest car maker by sales on Tuesday announced that it had completed a planned announced in late 2021 to reshuffle and simplify its leasing and financing operations in Europe. Under its terms, Stellantis created a 50-50 single long-term multi-brand leasing company named Lisal with Credit Arcola Consumer Finance. That's a mouthful. It also set up a joint venture in European countries for new Stellantis Finance Services unit, formerly Bank PSA Finance, with BNP Paribas Personal Finance and Santander Consumer Finance. These banks have always had better funding conditions than those we have had as an automaker. Benefits of the plan include cutting the number of financing and leasing entities the group runs in each country and the number of IT systems it uses, with expected savings exceeding 30% in this particular area, he added. The group had a huge profile of orders it had not yet delivered due to supply chain shortages impacting production. Demand is not our main issue. The issue is to deliver as fast as we can cars that are in our order portfolio, which is still at record levels, he said. The group aims to expand its corporate lease vehicle fleet to more than 1 million units in 2026 and to double net income from its so-called banking activities from 5.8 billion euros or 6.3 billion USD by 2030. Stellantis was not seeing a downward trend in vehicle pricing. Probability the significant price increases we have seen in 2021 and 2022 will not be repeated because the context is changing, but for the moment we don't see decreases, we see stabilization. And there we go. Yeah, as always, comment down below what you think. U.S. and Japan enter into an electric car battery material trade deal. If the deal stands, it will be a win for Japanese automakers and U.S. EV buyers. According to Reuters, the U.S. and Japan signed a new trade deal this week that will benefit both sides when it comes to electric vehicles. It will allow Japanese car makers to get access to at least a portion of the newly revamped $7,500 U.S. federal EV tax credit. The deal should also reduce Japan's dependence on China. The new rule put forth in the U.S. work to ensure that EV batteries are not only produced in the U.S., but also with critical materials that are sourced domestically. However, there are exceptions, including countries with which the U.S. has a free trade agreement. The new trade deal doesn't allow either the U.S. or Japan to enact bilateral export restrictions on cobalt, graphite, lithium, manganese, or nickel. The Biden administration is working on a similar agreement with the European Union. The hope is that trusted allies will get access to the new EV credit, which has been causing contention between the U.S. and some countries. For an electric car to qualify for the full $7,500 credit, the vehicle and its battery must be assembled in the U.S. The second half of the credit is based on where the battery's critical materials come from. An EV would need to have at least 40% of those materials come from the U.S. or a country with a free trade agreement with the U.S. Thanks to the newly signed deal, EV products with battery materials from Japan should meet the requirement for half of the new credit, according to Japan's Trade Minister. U.S. Trade Representative Kathleen Tai signed the deal, sharing that Japan is one of our country's most trusted partners. However, she reportedly didn't have any backing of her colleagues in Congress ahead of the signing. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden and House Representative Ways and Means Committee Ranking Member Richard Neal are pushing back against the deal. They released a statement with the following argument. Without enforcement of enforceable environmental or labor protections, the administration abandons work-centric trade policies and jeopardizes our climate work by opening the door for another environmental catastrophe. While the Biden administration still puts U.S. companies first and hopes to encourage foreign companies to relocate to the U.S., it also argues that there's simply no way for us to meet climate control goals and curb climate change without such deals. Currently, very few, if any, EVs in the U.S. even qualify for the new $7,500 credit. There we have it on that one. Comment below what you guys think. GMC Hummer pickup truck sales almost stall in Q1 2023. Only 2 units were delivered, which is the worst result since its launch in Q4 2021. Yeesh. The GMC brand reports 130,608 vehicles delivered during the first quarter of 2023 in the U.S., which is 7.8% more than a year ago. Unfortunately, once again, we don't have any good news about customer deliveries of the all-electric GMC Hummer EV pickup. According to the latest report, deliveries almost stalled in Q1 and amounted to just 2 units. That's a 98% decrease from the 99 units a year ago, and the worst result since the market launch, when a symbolic vehicle was delivered in Q4 2021. For reference, in 2022, GMC delivered 854 Hummer EV pickups. Currently, the cumulative number is 857. There is a reason why the ramp up is slow. Actually, it was progressing in Q1 through Q3 2022, but then it was paused. The reason is that the Factory Zero in Michigan, Detroit, and Hamtramck started preparation to handle additional Ultium-based models, mainly the Chevrolet Silverado EV. As we understand, the Chevrolet Silverado EV is a priority for General Motors right now because it's a higher volume and higher value project. Not only that, the electric Silverado must be ready for prime time to compete with the Ford F-150 Lightning and other electric pickups. The plant is being upgraded, so the Chevrolet Silverado EV is expected to enter the market in late spring. Meanwhile, GM says that Factory Zero is building and shipping GMC Hummer EV pickups and GMC Hummer EV SUVs, which means that we should expect a far better Q2. Let's recall the company closed reservations for the GMC Hummer EV pickup and GMC Hummer EV SUV models in September, with more than 90,000 units reserved, backed by a $100 refundable deposit. In October 2022, we heard that the Hummer EV Duo is sold out for 2 years. We hope that GMC will find a way to produce at least a few thousand per quarter, or Q will never end. Yeah. What do you think about that one? So right now, it's like, wow, lowest production EV Hummers right now. So if you have like a model year one of the Hummer EV, you got like a rarity there of one out of 857 units. Might be a selling point or reselling point if you wanted to sell it. So comment down below. And our last story of the day. 2024 Toyota Tacoma Hybrid previewed in teaser shot. Teaser images of a redesigned 2024 Toyota Tacoma midsize pickup signals it will feature an iForce hybrid powertrain tuned for added power and towing capacity. Toyota released what it said is the first of several teaser shots of the long-awaited redesign of its top-selling pickup, the Tacoma, revealing that the 2024 update will feature an iForce Max hybrid powertrain due to provide additional power and towing capability similar to that of the Tundra. The teaser photo shows only a portion of the right rear corner of the TRD Pro version of the 2024 Tacoma pickup, but includes an iForce Max badge to indicate the hybrid powertrain. Along the redesigned rear lighting, tailgate, and updated badging, the updated bumper is obscured by digital enhanced flying dirt. Okay, 4x4 holiday. The image is the first of what is expected to be several such shots leading up to a reveal in mid-May. The photos was released April 4th to celebrate what many off-road enthusiasts consider the calendar's annual homage to the hobby, 4x4. Toyota has signaled that it would offer a hybrid powertrain in the redesigned part of its promise to offer hybrids at least as options across the lineup. The Tacoma is the third of Toyota's 4 body-on-frame vehicles being redesigned onto its global F1 platform, following the Tundra in 2021 and the Sequoia in 2022, with only the 4Runner remaining, which is expected in 2024. Tacoma has a long dominated the midsize pickup segment, and through the first quarter is the automaker's fourth best-selling nameplate, behind the RAV4, Camry, Highlander through March. Tacoma sales are up 0.8% to 53,583 units. So, there we go. Looking forward to a new midsize Toyota Tacoma. So there you have it. Comment down below on any of the stories that you like. Be sure to share them out with your friends, family, and if you're not following me, be sure to follow me on all of our digital social media platforms.